everyone, Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today I'm actually back here to do something a little bit different because today I'm going to go ahead and do an editing tutorial. So I've had a lot of questions about how I edit my Sims videos over the last year and the last couple of months, so I thought it would be finally good to do this now because honestly the amount of messages I get about this, I felt it was a perfect time to do it. And this video is also sponsored by APowerEdit, who makes a bunch of programs including their software for editing called APowerEdit, and that's what we're going to go ahead and use in today's video. And by the way, I'll leave a product link down below so you can go ahead and see this for yourself. This is their website here and they have a bunch of different programs. So if you go over to product and solution at the top here and then come over to APowerEdit, you can see the product page for this, and like I said, there'll be a link down below to it. There is a download to desktop button right here, so it's very easy to find it, and you can go ahead and try out the trial version and go ahead and buy it for yourself if you really like it. So let's go ahead and jump into the program and I'll show you how I edit my Sims videos. So we're back here on this little window, and this is what you get when you first load up the program, asking you which kind of dimensions you want to go for, 4:3 or 16:9, and I'm going to go for 16:9 because that's the best for YouTube videos. And then this is what the program looks like when it first opens up. It's very kind of simple, which is a great thing about this software, so it's not going to be something that's going to take you a while to get used to, and I'm going to take you through all the different steps of how you can edit your own videos and add different things to make them a little bit more special. So the first thing you're going to have to do is import your files. Now there's two ways to do this depending on which one you're going to find easiest. You can either just drag the files in from a folder, and then you can click up here and click either import file to just put one video file in, or import folder, which is actually a really nice idea. So if you just have a folder full of all the recording files that you want to use in your project, then you can easily just go ahead and put those in with one button, which is great. So I use Dxtory to record my videos, and I'm just going to go ahead into my recording folder here, and I found all this footage which I want to use for my next speed build. So I'm going to go ahead and just click those and then just drag them in here. So in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and edit one of my speed build videos. Now I'm going to be kind of showing you that since it is the most common type of video I do. Now, you know, editing styles may differ between the different types of Sims videos you do, so such as a Let's Play or Create a Sim, you may need to kind of differ how you edit the video. But no matter what kind of Sims video you are doing, there are still some kind of similarities in terms of editing techniques and things you can use with APowerEdit to kind of put into any type of Sims video or any type of video really you want to do. Okay, so all of the kind of files I'm going to use today have been imported, and I'm actually just going to use the footage from a speed build I did a little while ago called Hillcrest Way. So I've just kind of imported a few clips from it. I don't really need to go through every single bit of it. Got my intro and outro here as well. What I actually have is like rendered videos so of my intro and outro, so I just kind of put them into any project I'm using. You just go ahead and click on the particular file you want to use, go down here into the timeline, and this top one here, it's got the little icon right there for the video, and you just go ahead and drop it, and it's as simple as that. And then you can just go ahead and, you know, play it. There's a few different ways you can actually play through. You can either click the play button here, or what I do is just press the space bar. The next thing I then do for my speed build videos is then just go ahead and put the footage in for the speed build footage. So this is the first one right here, so I'm just going to do the exact same thing and just drag it down into the timeline. You can also see there's a few other tracks here for text and also audio. We're going to go through all these different options here in a second, but I also have a music file that I'm going to use here, so I'm just going to drop this down. And what I do normally for the music in my videos is I have the music kind of, you know, on normal volume for the intro, and then I normally kind of fade it out for the rest of the speed build, because then I go over and do my voiceover. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you what you can do for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in a few times, and you can see here that we've got the track, and if you zoom in even further, you can actually see the little volume peaks, which is really good if you're trying to find a particular point in the song. So using this little marker tool, I'm just going to kind of scrub through until the point I see where my intro ends, which is about here. I'm then going to go ahead and kind of highlight the music track. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is split the track. So this just means kind of dividing the track up. It's as simple as that. Now there's a few ways you can do this actually. You can see there's a little cut icon here, and that's really easy to find that. You can literally just click that, or you can go ahead and kind of right click on the track and then go ahead and click split. But what it actually does is, and I really like this feature, is that if you kind of click on something, it kind of tells you what the actions are, but it also tells you what the keyboard shortcut is, which I think is a very good thing to have in editors and to be aware of them, because it makes things so much easier. So what I like to do is kind of highlight the point where I want, which I'm going to split. But what I do like to do is just have like the music just slightly run over the intro, so it kind of goes over the start of the video just a tiny little bit and then fades out. So I'm actually going to split around this point, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click Ctrl B, and you can see that it kind of divided up there. So the next thing I'm going to do is just delete this rest of this part. So I'm just going to click the delete key, and there we'll only have this bit. So to get the more options of kind of adjusting the volume, if you want it to fade in and fade out, all you have to do is just double click on the track, and it brings up this menu here, which has a few different options. You've got speed, volume, fade in and fade out. Bring the fade out a little bit, so maybe about a second or so, so it doesn't just, you know, the music just doesn't cut off. All we'll have to do there, so that's pretty simple. So the next thing is to work with the actual speed build footage. So the next thing we need to do is speed up the footage, you know, since it is a speed build. So I'm just going to go back to the first clip. So I'm just going to use kind of this bar here to kind of take me all the way back to the start. So similar to with the music track, how we could double click on it to get a few options, we can actually do the same with the video tracks as well. And then it brings up this window similar to the one with the audio track, giving you a few more options. Now for this being a very kind of simple editor, it all seems, you know, very simple in terms of how it's presented, but there's actually still a lot of useful features you can do. So you can see here that we've got a lot of features, such as, you know, contrast, saturation, brightness and hue. What it's going to show you is the speed. So I actually kind of played around with this a little bit, and you can do the same to kind of find what kind of speed you want for your speed build video. But for me, I found that like 5 times, which is kind of the full speed it goes up to, found that it's a little bit too fast for me. So what I think is a good kind of point is around the 4 times mark. So the other thing to remember is that this video file does have an audio track to it, because, you know, I was just recording this so my microphone was running at the same time. So you can just kind of come down here and you can see the little volume icon, so you can literally just click that and it's muted this little bit of audio track. So the next thing we've got to do is just repeat that process of going through and speeding up the footage and muting the audio. So the next bit is kind of optional. It really depends on how much you want to edit the video. I know some people do speed builds and they kind of just, you know, leave the footage how it is and let it play through, and I know some other people like me sometimes tends to cut out parts of the video that you may find a little bit boring. So what I'm going to do is just kind of play through a little bit, and you know, if it's like a shorter video, you might actually just want to watch it all the way through and then kind of decide on which bits you want to kind of take out. So what I normally like to do is just kind of skim through it. I don't really watch the whole thing at this point, so I'm kind of just going to go through, see what I'm doing. If it's taking me a long time to decide on something, or if something's kind of repetitive, then I might decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and then I'm going to go ahead and click Ctrl B, which from before was the split tool, and then I'm kind of just going to go ahead and play a little bit more until this particular point is over. So the reason I split the video was because I was taking a little bit long time here to decide on which direction and kind of what shape I wanted the walls to be. So I'm kind of just going to play through a little bit more until I find a point where I'm kind of happy with to then continue. So I'm going to say, you know, maybe about there. So then what I'm going to do again is just split it like what I just did. And then this point in the speed build here, which we did the 2 split points between, is what I'm just going to go ahead and click delete on. And that bit that was taking me a little bit of a long time to do is now gone, and it kind of just, you know, allows things to flow a little bit nicer. So the other good thing about this software, which I really like compared to some other ones that I've used, is that once you've split a clip, the other clips in the timeline will then kind of join together and add on to the end, and it doesn't leave a gap, and then you have to, you know, go through all the clips and move them to the end of the one that's just passed. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is down this menu here at these different options, and we're first going to look at text. It's normally for like if I, you know, forget to say something, or I want to mention something but I end up forgetting, so I say check the description for whatever I said. And that's like a common thing that I do to actually, you know, insert text in my videos. So as you can see here on APowerEdit, there is a bunch of different kind of presets and different shapes. So we've got more colourful ones here, we've got like clouds and more simple kind of forms of text too. I'm just going to go ahead and maybe like get this one. So it's exactly what you may think. All you have to do is select the text and just drop it into the text track down here. So now we're going to just zoom in a little bit on it so we can kind of find the best place to put it. So what I'll normally do is, you know, maybe skim through the video and then I forget to say something maybe here. So I'll kind of move my marker to that point, move the text to it, and then we're going to edit the text to, you know, put what we want in it. So all you have to do is just double click on the text and it'll bring up this menu here, and this kind of just gives you some more options of what you can do. So there's different like gradients and different styles for the text, also different fonts, sizes, the types like bold, italics, underlined. There's so many options, and you know, it just says basic settings, but honestly this is all you need because, you know, I don't even use this amount of stuff in my normal edits as well. So all you have to do is kind of just click on the text and it's just, you know, just use a keyboard to type in whatever you want. So I'm going to say, you know, check the description or something. So I've just typed that out and I'm just going to kind of move this into the box a little bit better. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of, you know, maybe change the font up to something. So I'm maybe just going to go for this thin font here and then kind of, you know, just adjust it to fit it a little bit better into this box like so. You know, there's some different things you can do here if you want, but I'm just going to leave it how it was. And here under this tab we've got filters, but as you can see here, APowerEdit has a ton of different, you know, filters, all different kind of colors, effects, and some more kind of simpler kind of colors and effects as well. So I'm just going to kind of play around with a few and show you how you use them. So say for example I want this pixelate one, so all you have to do is when you click on it, you may see in the timeline, if I click, it actually makes a new track for filters. So you just go ahead and drag it onto the filters one, and there we go. So if we just play this through, you can see what it looks like, and there we go, you can see how it's pixelated the screen. And you know, we can just delete that like so if you want to try another one, such as like, you know, chromatic, which I don't think would look great on a speed build, but you can see what it looks like there. So the next tab here is overlays. So you can see here that we've got a ton of different ones, and you know, some border style ones, which is good. So maybe if you have a face cam on your video, you can use this as a face cam, or even just as a border for your whole video. Say for example you want this one here, you can see on the timeline again it makes a new track for overlays like it did with filters, and if we play that through you can see how it's added one like so. So the next tab is transitions. So if I click on this you can see a bunch of different transitions, and these are good as well. So you know, how I was saying earlier, how, you know, you may want to kind of cut out a bit of a boring part in your video. So if I just play this through, you can see how it just jumps to the next clip, which is fine and everything. It's not really much of a big deal, but sometimes it is nice to kind of just have like something that's a little bit more decorative, I suppose, or even just make things a little bit smoother. So, and once you've selected which one you want, you just kind of click on it and you just drag it onto the timeline, and you can see it kind of shows you where it goes. So you just let go on there, and if I play this through, it'll show you how it looks. And there you go. So this last part here is called elements, and there's kind of a few things you can do with elements. So you can see here I've got a countdown one, and these you just download. They're very simple. You literally just click on them like that. It takes a few seconds to download, and there you go, you can use it. But maybe something like a bulb as well, which is kind of just like an overlay really. So now I'm just going to show you some other different things you can do with this editing software. So you can see here, which we've kind of looked at a little bit in this video, is these different editing tools here. So you know, they're pretty self-explanatory because they give you a little picture of what they are, which makes things, you know, a lot more easier. Here this is the undo and redo button, we've got to edit, we've got the split button which already used, we've got the delete button, and then these tools here which we're going to look at now. The first one is crop. So the crop tool is really good for, you know, if you just want to kind of zoom in on a particular part that you want to kind of pay more attention to. So say for example I was kind of showing you a particular like tutorial in the Sims here, and I want to kind of zoom in on this area down here. All you have to do is just use the little kind of squares in the corner to drag it into the particular area you want. Now you can see that it's kind of just going everywhere, making things all off ratio. So if we just kind of go back to the start, there's actually a really helpful tool here where you just click this box or keep aspect ratio, so then you can kind of freely move this without kind of adjusting the sides, and it keeps things all in the 16:9 ratio. And then this next feature here is called set duration. Now this is actually a good tool if you know exactly kind of like how long you want the video to be. Well, you can actually just set the time to how long you want the clip to be. So then once I've got everything, you know, done in the video, I've got all of the clips edited to how I want them to be. At the end of the video, if you don't know, for my speed builds, I normally put screenshots and then my outro. So that's what we're going to do next. So on my second monitor here, I've actually got a kind of a few screenshots that I'm just going to drag over into this box here. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag them in and wait for the screenshots to load in. And then I'm just going to go ahead and select them all and just drag them them into the timeline like so, and kind of just rearrange them into the order that I want. So you could just leave the screenshots how they are, but you could also go back into transitions like we looked at earlier, and maybe find some to kind of, you know, transition the screenshots together so a little bit smoother. And then at the end, we're going to go ahead and take my outro, and like I said, I have it as a rendered video, so I'm just going to go ahead and just drop it at the end here. All very simple, but that's pretty much what I do. So now that you've got the last bit of your video done, such as the screenshots and your outro, it's now time to go ahead and render the video and export it. So like I said, you can use this button here, which we looked at earlier, but we're going to go ahead and click export at the top here, and you've got a few different options. You can either export the video, export to a device, or export the audio. Export to device just means, you know, if you want to optimize it for iPhone or Android, but we're going to go ahead and click export video, and then you've got a few different options here of different output files you could do. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave the default one, which is MP4, because I know that that is supported by YouTube. And then you can go ahead and name it. So for example, I'm just going to call it tutorial, as I did the project file. And then you can choose the output folder, so you can actually use select folder to go through and actually select it. And then you've got the output settings, so you can change it to a different one. It's actually really nice because you have a lot of different settings that are quite complex in a way if you want to mess with those. So you can actually select high quality, you can change the encoder and everything, but it's all kind of left here as well, which is also a good setting. So, you know, if you know what you're doing, feel free to go ahead and mess around, change the resolution up to 1920 by 1080 as well. And there's also some audio settings there too. And then, you know, all you have to do is click export, and then it just tells you there how much % of it's done. I also really like how it gives you a finish action. So, you know, a sound reminder, or to shut down the computer, or do nothing. That's actually really nice because, you know, it's sometimes good to know if you're just waiting around for your video to render, if it has like a sound that it gives you once it's rendered, and that'll be really, really good. And I recommend you go ahead and try APowerEdit for yourself, because it is honestly an amazing editor. It's so simple to use, but it has so many good features that you wouldn't really expect for a simple editor, because it has all those different, you know, transitions, filters and overlays, which for some editors you may actually have to download yourself. So to have this all in the program for you to use right there without any additional costs is amazing. So I really recommend you go ahead and try this editor out for yourself. Like I said, in the description down below I will leave a product link so you can go ahead and check this out for yourself. And that is pretty much it for this editing tutorial. So I really hope you enjoyed. If you have any more questions or comments, then feel free to leave that down below in the comment section, and I'll try my best to go ahead and answer those. And once again, thanks for APowerSoft for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!